right, ratio and rates. Ratio is a comparison of two like quantities. A ratio can be expressed as a division problem, such as 3/8. It can also be expressed as 3/8 or 3:8. For our purposes, we will express ratios in either proper or improper fraction form in lowest terms. Okay, you will not see a ratio. This is ratio. We're going to deal with both of them, I believe, today, ratio and rates. For ratios, you'll never see a ratio expressed as a whole number. You'll never see a ratio expressed as a mixed number. You will really not see a ratio expressed as a decimal number. Okay, so for example, in this classroom we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls. So if we were to look at the girls to boys ratio, okay, the girl to boy ratio in this classroom, we have 7 girls, so that would go on top. On bottom we have 1, 2, 3, 4 boys. So the ratio of girls to boys in this class is 7/4. Okay. Now, obviously that's an improper fraction that you could reduce and say it's 1 3/4, but you do not do that with ratios. You leave it in improper fraction form. Okay. Well, let's say that in our classroom we had a girl to boy ratio of 8/4. Okay, let's say the ratio is 8/4, not 7/4. Okay, well, if it was 8/4, then you would need to reduce that to 2/1. Okay, but that would be the ratio, 2/1, not 2. Okay, it has to be expressed as a proper or improper fraction for our purposes. Okay, you will also notice that the first word that we listed goes on top of the fraction. Okay. Any questions on that? Oh, thank you. All right. So that's ratio, okay? It is a comparison of like quantities. For example, okay, like quantities does not mean like feet, yards, ounces, stuff like that. It means any kind of, for example, our boys to girl or girls to boy ratio. Okay, those are people. They're the same quantity. Obviously, boys and girls are not the same, but it is something that has a relationship. Okay. When you're dealing with ratios, you don't deal with things, for example, miles and hours. Okay, miles is distance, hours is time. You don't deal with those type. It's only those that have similar quantities or similar ways that we can classify or categorize them. All right, now, okay, now let's talk about rate. Rates are a form of a ratio. Everybody got a type of a ratio. Okay? A rate is a type of a ratio, not a ration. Okay? But it compares two numbers with unlike quantities. Okay, this is the one that is like miles and hours, miles and gallons. Okay, if you go in and you take a typing test, you have words per minute. Those are things that you can't put in the same unit of measurement. Okay? We don't know how many gallons that you can pour into a mile because obviously you can't do that. Okay, so it's a quantity that the things are not the same. Now, with rates are expressed as a proper fraction, mixed number, whole number, or decimal. Okay, so rates are different than ratios in that sense of you have to express them in lowest terms. If that's a mixed number, you do it as a mixed number. If it's a decimal, you do it as a decimal. Okay, you don't leave it as an improper fraction. Okay, you're gonna take it to its lowest terms, including making it a whole number, anything like that. Okay, let me give you an example. Well, the other thing, let me put this in red. A rate must have a label. Okay, an example of a label. An example would be miles per gallon, miles per hour, word per minute. Okay. And there'll be some others that we're going to look at here in our examples. Okay, so let's say, for example, then, I have a car that goes 98 miles on 4 gallons of gas. Okay, 98 miles on 4 gallons of gas. All right, that is a rate. The reason it is a rate, because you have miles and gallons. Those are not the same unit of measurement. You have miles and gallons. Okay, and so that would put us at 98 over 4 is the way we're going to start it. Okay, 98 over 4, so we just divide 4 into 98. 4 goes into 9 twice, it'd be 8, remainder 1. Bring down your 8. 4 into 18 goes 4 times, it'd be 16, remainder 2. Okay, take that 2 and put it over the 4. Okay, I can do it that way. Okay, or I can continue it out and do this put a point, add a 0, bring down the 0 and get 20. 4 goes into 20 5 times. That would be 20, remainder 0. So either 24 and 1/2 or 24.5, and my label is MPG, miles per gallon. Okay, now, there are specific abbreviation for labels for rates, so don't make up your own. Okay? Well, it's just easier just to write APB. Well, what the world does the A stand for? Apples? Bananas? Apple per banana or something? All right, so don't make up your own abbreviation. Miles per gallon, MPG, is an accepted nationwide, worldwide. You say MPG and people know it's that. Okay? Actually, in Europe and places like that, they'll say KPL, kilometers per liter. Okay? Because they go by the metric system and not the standard system. Yes, Anthony. Another mark. You're on your second mark, but yeah, you can. Any other questions? Okay, so that's rates. Rates must have a label. If you don't have the label, it will be counted wrong. Okay, so basically all we're doing is we're looking at rates and reducing them, looking at ratios and reducing them. Okay, now, the last thing we need to look at is comparing ratios. Okay?
Do we have to have both of them too?
No, either one of them is acceptable. When you're comparing ratios, it's just like you're comparing fractions. Okay? For example, if I had these ratios here, okay, if we had those ratios, and they want us to put them in least to greatest order. So least to greatest order. Okay, first thing we need to do is use common sense. Okay, so some of you are going to struggle in that area. The two people that don't got it, and the others, you're going to struggle in that area. Least to greatest, obviously 4 over 2. 4 over 2 is what as a whole number? 2. Okay. So 4 over 2 is 2. What's 11 over 2? So this is close to 2. What's 11 to 2, which is 11 over 2? What is 11 over 2? What is half of 11? 5.5. Okay. What is 22 over 3? How many times does 3 go into 22? 7. So this is obviously higher. 4 goes into 30 how many times? 7. And 5 goes into 36 how many times? 7. So we know these 3 are going to be close together. We know these 2 are the smallest. So we can put 4 over 2 and 11 to 2. Now we've got to figure out these 3. So what we're going to do is we take 22 over 3, 30 over 4, and 36 over 5. Okay? What is the common denominator between 3, 4, and 5? What? No, not 50.
20? No.
No, 3 doesn't go into 20.
30?
Are they all prime, basically? 4 is not, but is 3 and 5 prime numbers? Yeah. So we just multiply them together. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 5, 60. So the common denominator is 60. So what do we do to 3 to make it 60? Multiplied by 20. So you got to do the same thing in the top. 20 times 22, I'll help you, 440. What did you do to 4 to make it 60? We multiplied by 15. 15 times 30, 450. What do we do to 5 to make it 60? Multiplied by 12. 12 times 36, 432. So which one's the smallest of that group? Okay, so that means 36 over, whatever was the original one, 36 colon 5. What was the next one? 22 colon 3. 30 over 4. Okay, and that's your answer. So you use common sense to try to figure out ones that you can eliminate. Okay, ones that you can eliminate. All right. I was going to let you go to the board, but Nicole just asked me, so we're just going to sit here and take notes. Huh? Oh, everybody go to the board and let her sit here and take notes? Wow, what friends you have, huh? That's okay. I'm a stud. That's okay. I'm the best. All right, you can go to the board. Take your book with you. You can go to the board too, Nicole. All right. You need to do 5 and 6. Number 5 and 6.